I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. Joining me today is Shivani Siroya. She is founder and CEO at Tala. Shivani, it's wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I'm very excited to talk with you, but before we do that, just a quick note to our viewers, this interview is for informational purposes only. The NYSE doesn't recommend any investments or investment strategies. All right, so Shivani, tell me about Tala. Tell me about the problem you're solving for.
So the problem that we're solving at Tala is a problem that's facing almost 3 billion people around the world. There are 3 billion people around the world that are currently lacking access to traditional financial services and high quality financial products that will allow them to be true agents of their financial lives. So not only accessing, but actually having choice and control over that full financial life.
Okay, so you founded the company in 2014 and it's been growing year over year. How have you built a business that's both sustainable and impactful?
So because we're solving a problem that affects 3 billion people, we really thought of it as we had to come up with something that was seamless as well as very scalable across multiple countries around the world. And so it really goes into using data as well as using, I would say, tech and Android technology in particular for us. So Android technology is now in the hands of over 1.8 billion people around the world, especially in emerging markets. And so we really thought of that as our main avenue for actually reaching these underserved customers. So what we did is actually built a proprietary financial platform that allows us to acquire customers, to credit score them using, again, a mix of behavioral data as well as transaction data that we gather through our Android application. From there, we act actually as almost like a full bank to these customers. We give them access to credit. So we've now delivered over $3 billion in access to credit across 4 different countries, Kenya, the Philippines, Mexico, and India, to now 8 million customers around the world. And what we're really excited about is that this is really equal access. So over 50% of our portfolio is women. And so we really are starting to move the needle on who can access traditional financial products, but also what the impact is on those families as a result.
Now, you recently released a report which measures your impact. Give me some of the highlights.
So we worked with a firm called 60 Decibels, allowing us to, again, have a third party actually interview our customers and get a qualitative and quantitative assessment. What we found was 63% of the customers that we surveyed told us that they had never received access to these kind of digital credit products before. And so it's really exciting to think of it as we really are reaching the underserved customer. What we also found was that 80% of our respondents told us that they felt more financially confident as a result. So they were more empowered to make, financial decisions for their businesses as well as for their families. And the majority of those individuals saying that are women. The last thing that I want to share is actually just thinking of it again as, when we think about anxiety in financial lives, it's really about, can you actually meet not just your day-to-day needs, but your emergency needs? And what we found was 8 out of 10 of our respondents told us that they were actually now able to be more confident in meeting those kind of times of uncertainty. And I think it's really interesting as a juxtaposition that only 4 out of 10 people in the US will actually say the same thing.
Wow. Well, Shivani, amazing work that you're doing. Keep it up. And thank you for joining me on NYSE Floor Talk.
Thank you so much for having me.